Let's look at a lesson from SIRI Kannada grade 8. The name of this lesson is SAPTAAKSHARI mantra, and it is written by Muddanna. SAPTAAKSHARI, we have to split this word as Sapta plus Akshari, which means 7 alphabets. Mantra, a mantra which is 7 alphabets long. That is the meaning of this title. So this is one different kind of literature. Kannada literature has undergone a lot of changes over a period of time. So we can broadly split Kannada literature as Hale Kannada, Nadu Kannada and Hosa Kannada. Hosa Kannada are all the lessons which we have seen so far, which is the modern Kannada which we are using nowadays. But this lesson is an example of Hale Kannada. Okay, so this is a story of Ramayana, Sri Rama Ashwamedham. Okay, this is mainly the story taken from Ramayana. So, in this lesson, the poet Muddanna, poet or the author Muddanna, he is talking to his wife Manorame, and he is telling her this story, the story of Rama Ashwamedham. And when he is explaining the story, in between, when he is telling her the story, they both have a very humorous conversation, Muddanna and his wife. So this lesson is about that humorous conversation that the husband and wife have when Muddanna is telling her the story. So that is the background of this story. It's just a conversation between Muddanna and his wife, which is a very humorous conversation. And also Muddanna was under extreme poverty. So he is also trying to bring out the pain and the difficulties that the poets had in this conversation, in this humorous conversation. There is a hidden factor of how the poets were under extreme poverty and facing a lot of difficulties. So even that is indirectly that also comes into play in this conversation. So now we need to understand the background story before we get into this lesson. The background story which Muddanna has been telling his wife Manorame. Before their conversation, he is explaining her the story of Ramayana. So that background story is what I will first explain, and then we will get into the lesson. So the background story, I think most of us know the story of Ramayana, but briefly I will explain this story. So Ravana kidnaps Sita and takes her to Lanka. So Rama goes in search of Sita. Then he fights a war with Ravana and he frees Sita and gets her back. So after Rama wins the war, he gives the responsibility of managing Lanka to Ravana's brother Vibhishana. He coronates Vibhishana as the king of Lanka and gives him the responsibility of taking care of Lanka, and he returns to Ayodhya with Sita. A couple of months after they return from Ayodhya, Sita gets pregnant. And one day while she is having a conversation with Rama, she expresses her desire that she wants to go to a Rishi's ashram in the forest. So Rama, he promises her that he will ask Lakshmana to make all arrangements and take her to the ashram. The same night, after he has spoken to Sita, on the same night, through one of his spy, Rama comes to know that one of the citizens is doubting the character of Sita. So, in spite of knowing completely well that Sita is pure, Rama wants to be an ideal king and set an example to his citizens. So, he decides to abandon Sita. He calls Lakshmana and tells him to just leave Sita in a forest and come, and tells him that he wants to abandon her. Lakshmana is very unhappy with Rama's decision. But since Rama is the king as well as his elder brother, he does not want to disobey him. So, unhappy, not very happy with his decision, half-heartedly he just goes and leaves Sita in the forest and returns. Rama is very much pained with his decision to abandon Sita, and he is feeling very, very sorrowful after the separation. But still, as a king, he discharges all his duties well, and he is a very responsible king and wants to keep his citizens very happy. So one day a sage by name Agastya, he visits Rama along with his students. So Rama welcomes the sage and takes very good care of him. And then Rama has a conversation with the sage, and that time Rama expresses his sorrow of killing Ravana. He feels sad that he killed somebody. So he is feeling very, very sad, and he's having that guilt that he has killed somebody. For which Agastya Rishi, he consoles him and he says, Ravana was wrong. He did a mistake and he was on the wrong side. So Rama punishing him and killing him is correct. He justifies that what Rama did was correct because Ravana was wrong. But Rama is still not convinced with what the sage tells him. So finally, the sage tells him that he can do Ashwamedha Yajna, which will relieve him of the guilt of killing Ravana. So Rama agrees and he decides to do the Ashwamedha Yajna. So what do you mean by Ashwamedha Yajna? A royal horse. It will be let to go freely anywhere it wants. And a huge army and all the important people like Shatrughna, Angada, Hanuman, all of them will follow that horse. The royal army, the huge army of Rama and all the important people in his ministry, they all will go behind that horse. So the horse, it is let free, it can go wherever it wants. So as the horse goes through different kingdoms and different lands, the kings will let the horse pass through, which means that they accept Rama as their king and they are ready to give him taxes, pay him taxes and give him a lot of gifts. So these are all the kings who accept that Rama is supreme and they all bow down to Rama. They will let the horse go through their kingdom. But if there are some kings who do not accept Rama as their king, then they are open and ready to fight a war. So they will tie the horse and they will challenge for a war. That time, the army and the people who are following the horse will fight a war. And in case the king gets defeated in the war, he will accept Rama as a king and he will be ready to pay the taxes and give all the gifts. So like this, the horse, it kept traveling to different places and one day it enters the ashram of a sage, Aranyaka. Okay, so this is the background story and this is what Muddana is telling his wife Manorame. So this is the background story. Until here, Muddana has told a story to his wife. After this is what the conversation they both had, and that is only our lesson SAPTAAKSHARI mantra. So we will look at their conversation now, and I will be referring to I will continue this in the next video.